Hello and welcome back to my channel, Tahara Loves Pilates. So today this video is a flow of Pilates exercises suitable for beginners. Some exercises you'll recognise from previous videos that I've done. If you've not seen them, do be sure to check them out, and we've got some new ones added in as well. So we're going to start in a seated position and just do some breathing and then lie down and get started with our core work. So just place your hands on the side of your ribs. Remember, we're breathing into the rib cage to give the lungs lots of space to expand, get as much oxygen through the body. So deep breath in through the nose and a nice gentle exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, exhale. So just keep breathing in and out in your own time. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. We don't want them rising up towards the ears, but just staying settled down. Breathing into the hands and just feeling the movement of the rib cage. Remember, it's moving all directions, out to the sides, forwards and backwards, and a bit down towards the pelvis as well. Just really stretching all the muscles in between the ribs. For the last few breaths, just place a hand lower down, just underneath the belly button above the pubic bone. Keep one hand the side of the rib cage. Inhale. And see if you can get both hands moving. If I just quickly turn to the side. Turn to the other side so you can see both hands. And as you breathe out, just start to feel that subtle pulling in of the hand resting on your front. This breath is going to help us to find those core muscles. Breath in, and the hands are reaching away from the body as the rib cage, the abdominals expand. And breath out. Pulling in sensation. Nothing too strenuous, but just a gentle hug of the abdominal wall towards the spine. Lovely. Let's lie on down now and do some pelvic clocks. Get the pelvis in a great neutral position, ready for the rest of the exercises. So lying down, arms rested by the sides of the body, knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. The feet are in your parallel position, so your ankles, knees and your hip sockets are all in the same line. Picture the face of a clock resting on the pelvis. 12 at the pubic bone, 6 at the belly button, and we're going to start to rock the pelvis forwards and backwards. Tipping to 6 o'clock first. I always like to go to 6 o'clock. I'm not sure why. Maybe that stretching of the lower back sensation I really enjoy. And then marble to 12 o'clock towards the pubic bone. So as you do this, you might find the body needs a bit of adjustment. You might find you need to wriggle through the shoulders, to wriggle through the feet. Everything's connected to the pelvis, the legs, the torso, the arms. So you'll really find it starts to help organise the rest of the body depending on where your pelvis is. Forwards to 12, we've got that arch. Pulling it back to your 6 o'clock. And then bringing it back to a central position for our 3 and 9. So 3 is at your right hip, 9 at your left hip. Let's roll the marble over to our 3 o'clock. Feel that left hip reaching up, and then marble over to your 9 o'clock. Feel that right hip lifting up. Bit of a pull and a push with the legs. Bring your pelvis back to a central position and try and find that position where your marble is going to be centre of your 12 and 6, your 3 and 9. So you should still have a bit of a natural space between your lower back and the mat. We have it naturally standing up, so it's important to keep it natural when you're lying down. Coming into our breath again, inhale, and as you exhale, that pull of the abdominal wall down towards the spine. Breath in, breath out. Let's go 2 more breaths. Use the hands along the rib cage. So you've got that direction of where to breathe into. Gently bring the arms down by the sides. Inhale. And as you exhale, bringing one leg to your tabletop position. Breath in as you place it down. Inhale. Exhale, second leg to tabletop position. Inhale to place it down. Keep alternating. And the pelvis stays nice and still throughout. Continue here if this feels comfortable, or adding that extra bit of work. One leg to tabletop, hold it there, take a second breath in, and as you breathe out, second leg comes up to join that first leg. Keep hold of your core muscles as you control one leg down, pelvis stays nice and relaxed. Exhale, inhale to prepare, exhale. Just marching through the legs, a little box step. And bringing the feet back down to the floor. Placing your hands on either side of the pelvis, finding your 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And this time, let's start with our right leg. It's going to tip out to the side and back in. So it doesn't have to move far. Again, we're wanting to keep our pelvis stable, keep our pelvis neutral. So the hands over the pelvis are helping to keep your neutral pelvis. As your right knee tips to the side, be aware of the left hip. Does your 9 o'clock want to tip up? So the aim is to keep your pelvis neutral, keep that marble in the centre of your clock as your right knee tips out to the side and back in. Use your breath out as your knee tips away from the body to again encourage those core muscles to engage. Left side, left knee tipping out to the side and back in. This time just bringing some awareness to your 3 o'clock, your right hip, making sure that it stays weighted and back. Really avoiding that marble wanting to tip towards your 9 o'clock. Using that breath. And bringing the legs back to centre. So relax with the arms down by the sides as we move into some arm arcs now. Start with a reach of the fingertips towards the feet and let the arms lengthen up and overhead. Make sure you leave some room for the arms. Got very long arms. I'm just going to shuffle down so I don't hit the sofa. And as you reach the arms overhead, remember just some awareness for your rib cage, that we're not arching. We're keeping the ribs nice and quiet. We're still keeping that neutral pelvis. If you want to reach with one arm as you place the other hand over the rib cage just for a bit of feedback, that's absolutely fine to do. Let's add a breath here to help. So we're going to breathe in whilst the arms are down and breathe out as we reach the arms overhead. In as the arms come down and out. As you breathe out and the arms reach, let that breath encourage the ribs to stay down. Now let's go once more. And arms back down by the sides of the body. Bring your knees in towards your chest and just have a little hug of the knees in. So you should feel the lower back in contact with the mat, so that natural space between your back and the floor, I should say, has gone. Arms are back down by the sides of the body, and we're just going to start a gentle rock from side to side. Let's bring our arms a little bit further away from the torso, palms facing down, so we've got that stability from the upper body as well. Just a gentle rock from side to side to begin with. Let's add a breath here to coordinate. Breath in as you tip your knees over to one side. Breath out as you return to centre. And breath in as you tip your knees to the other side. Breath out as you return to centre. So I'm pressing the inner thighs together, the knees together, the ankles. Feeling my inner thighs work as well. Shoulders stay in contact with the floor, so we're not lifting the shoulder away as we tip either side, but we're keeping the shoulders planted down and secure into the floor. We're separating the upper body from the lower half of the body to again get some work in the centre. Going to add just a little bit of a challenge now, which is extending the legs away, so just opening the back of the knees just as far as is comfortable, or by all means keep the knees in. As we're sending the thighs away from the torso, we're encouraging the core to work that little bit harder. You should feel a difference now as you continue to rock from side to side. Inhale as you tip to the side. Exhale to centre. Shoulders stay connected to the floor. And hug knees into chest once again. Keep your left leg in towards you and stretch your right leg all the way along the floor. And swapping on over. Brilliant. Bring the feet back down to your semi-supine position so you can roll onto your side nice and safely. So our side lying exercise is, I would say, a progression from the clam, which you will have seen in previous videos. So we're bringing the head to the arm, just a little pillow. Start here in your clam position. Make sure that your pelvis is stacked, so your 3 and 9 o'clock are nice and stacked. 6 and 12, 12 and 6 too. And from here we're going to stretch the top leg. Going to keep the underneath leg bent. This is going to give us a good base of support as we come into some side lying exercises. The hand can rest on the pelvis here or just gently in front of the chest. Let the leg reach out and start to feel how it gently floats on up. Send the leg back down. And again, let the leg reach out and down. underneath side wants to stay away from the floor. So as you lift that leg, it's very easy to tip through the body. We want to keep a strong torso, use our core to keep again our body nice and neutral. To increase the challenge of this exercise, you can lengthen your underneath leg long as well. Let's flex the foot so you're pushing through the heel. Breathe out as you reach the leg away and in as the leg returns back. Stretching of your underneath leg, just going to help with your balance, help challenge your balance, make the core work that little bit harder. Do bend it back in though if you prefer. I'm going to bend my underneath leg back in for leg circles. So we're circling the leg forwards, up and over, forwards, up and over. Let's go 3 more. If you're doing this with a straight underneath leg, that's fantastic. Bent leg is just fine. And let's reverse straight away. Reversing the circle. Keep reaching the leg away, so you want to make the leg as long as possible. And keep your pelvis nice and stable, your torso nice and stable, so you've not got any rocking. Two more. Lovely, and let the leg bend in. So we're going to come up now onto our elbow for a side lift exercise. So the elbow wants to be underneath your shoulder blade, and if you just take a moment to sink in to the rib cage. So if we were lying down, our spine would be in a little bit of an arc. We want to find that stability through the torso again. So push your elbow down into the floor and start to feel that lift. Place a hand here under the rib cage and kind of feel how the arm, your shoulder blade, connects into your torso. I'm going to place a hand on the pelvis here. I'm continually pushing my elbow down into the floor in order to lift and keep strong in the side of the body. Breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to lengthen the pelvis up and pelvis down. Let the head reach up and over the arm. Feel the sides of the body working. Keep pushing that elbow down to lift. Use your breath out as you come up. Encourage the core to activate, and breath in as the pelvis comes down. Even when the pelvis comes down, we don't want to sink here. Imagine you've got a spike underneath the arm. It's going to pierce the rib cage. We want to stay up and away from it, even as the pelvis comes down. So we want to continue to work here, stay lifted. Let's do one more. And pelvis comes down. Walk the legs forwards. And we're just going to take a circle of the arms and turn your head away from the arm that was bearing the weight, and you should feel a nice stretch down the arm. And let's repeat that on the other side. Swing the legs round. Let's start in our clam position. And just organise the body. Remember, as you lie the body down, that's a good visual to see that your feet, your pelvis, your rib cage, your head are all in one line. As well, you have maybe the sofa behind you. Hopefully you can line the body up using the sofa as well. So let's stretch that top leg long. Have I left myself enough room? I have. And let's go ahead and lengthen that top leg long. The side you're lying on, again, is not pushing down into the floor, but it's lengthened and lifting away. The leg is coming up, but have more of a sense that the leg is reaching out. If you stretch the toe, imagine a piece of string on the end of the toe. It's being pulled, pulled, pulled until it has nowhere else to go but to lengthen up. And the arm just rests gently in front of the chest. Underneath leg can stretch long. That's going to reduce your base of support and just give a bit more of a challenge for the core. Nice and controlled. Let's come into our leg circles. We've got 5 forwards, up and over. I'm going to bend my underneath leg back for this one. This underneath leg really helps me to keep my pelvis stable, and eventually building up to keeping that leg nice and long as an extra challenge. I think this one's number 5. And let's reverse. Send the leg back, up and over. Breathe out as the leg goes behind you. That's where it feels the most challenging, when the leg's pulling backwards. Let's go one more. And bending the leg back in. Coming up onto your elbow, position it so that it's underneath your shoulder. If the elbow's away from the shoulder and we're bringing the pelvis up, we've not got much support here from the shoulder girdle. So elbow directly underneath the shoulder, hand underneath the ribs so you can feel that lift, that support. Hand can rest on the pelvis. Take a breath in, keep pushing that elbow down to lift up. Remember that spike just about to pinch you in the ribs. Keep up and away from that spike. Breath out. Belly button slightly pulling in as you lift. As the pelvis comes down, be careful not to sink into this rib cage. Stay lifted, stay strong in the shoulders. Let that head reach up and over. Let's go once more. And walk the legs round. Circle the arms up and over and turn your head away from that arm that was doing the weight bearing. So in this position, I'm not sinking and sort of sitting back. I'm really lengthening, lifting the chest away, really enjoying a stretch. Right, so coming into a roll down, just to lie down. So in a seated position, excuse me while I adjust my leggings. Feet are still in parallel, so I'm in this position here. And we are feeling the sitting bones underneath the pelvis. We're going to start reaching your tailbone, which is the very base of your spine, forwards. Reach the fingertips forwards and you'll start to feel the back stretching. Start to set the spine down bone by bone. Keep reaching the fingertips forwards to help keep that stretch of the back. And when the head comes down, just relax with the arms by the sides of the body. Let's shuffle back into the centre. Interlace your hands and let's place the hands at the back of the head now for some chest lifting. Take a breath in, make sure your pelvis is nice and neutral. And as you breathe out, coming up into that lift. Inhale, head comes down. Exhale. Inhale, head comes down. Head stays heavy in the hands. We're moving the spine, not reaching with the head. Next time you curl up, keep this lift. Release your right hand and hold on to the right thigh. Release your left hand, hold on to the left thigh. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl up that extra inch. Use the hands against the legs. Use this pushing motion of the elbows out to the sides to increase that lift. Return one hand back to the head, second hand back to the head, and use your inhale to set the head back down. Let's go again. Breath out. Reaching one, reaching two. Inhale. Exhale, stretch. Exhale, forwards. Really hold onto the legs here. Feel the stretch of the back and the engagement of the abdominals. Let's go twice more. And head returns all the way back down. Bring your feet together, knees together, and let your knees drop over to one side. Keep the shoulders against the floor as much as possible for maximum twist, maximum stretch. Bring your legs back to center and over to the other side. Let your head tilt away from your knees. And legs back to center. Bring the arms in by the sides of the body. Make sure you're in your neutral again. And bring your legs to tabletop position. Use the breath to do so. And legs are just in this 90-degree position. Arms by the sides. Let's start with the right leg. We're going to open the back of the knee and extend and bend the knee back in. Left leg, extend and in. As the leg stretches away from the body, we want to breathe out. As it bends back in, take an inhale. At the moment, we're keeping our legs high. The closer your legs are to your torso, the kind of easier it is on the core. Still some really good work going on here for the core. Mine's definitely working hard. If you want to increase that, maintain your neutral pelvis. So again, be mindful that it's not rocking forwards and backwards into your 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And you can increase the distance you stretch your leg away. Bit more of an angle. Inhale as you bend the knee. Exhale to straighten, alternating left and right. Each time you're breathing out, that feeling of your abdominal wall pulling down towards the spine. Last one. And bend the knees in towards the chest. Circle the knees in a clockwise motion. And then anti-clockwise motion. Just give the lower back a little bit of a massage into the floor. Bringing your feet back down one by one. Again, maintaining your neutral as we come into our bridge exercise. So we're placing some weight through the feet. We want to stand into the feet and then notice your pelvis become lighter. Keep lengthening upwards into your bridge position. Take a breath in at the top. As you breathe out, start to set the spine down bone by bone. Very normal if you feel like your spine is coming down in chunks, in blocks. Imagery will be your very best friend as you start to improve your spine mobility. So I like to imagine a string of beads, lengthening up, reaching the knees away. And as I descend, I'm setting one bead down at a time. Glutes are working really hard here. No real need to squeeze the glutes. Equal weight in the right foot and the left foot. Sometimes good to place a hand on the pelvis as well, to notice if you're coming up maybe on a bit of a tilt, a bit of an angle, keeping your 3 and your 9 level. Last one, we're going to hold for a few breaths, pressing up. Bring the arms down and just let the rib cage relax. One more breath in and out, and coming all the way down once again. Lovely job. Let's take a stretch. This figure of 4 stretch. So I'm going to bring my left leg in, keep the foot flexed, and we're going to rotate and place the foot onto the right knee. If that's enough of a stretch for you, just hold there, relax your arms down by the sides of the body. Should feel a stretch in that left glute, the left hip. If you want to increase the stretch, you can grab hold of your right leg and pull it in. Keep your foot flexed, and this is going to take any pressure out of that knee. And again, just a few breaths here. The more relaxed we can get the muscles, the more you'll get out of this stretch. And let's swap over. Making sure that right foot now is flexed. If that's enough, hold here. Or bring your left leg in to increase the stretch. You can use the sofa if you can't quite hold the leg here. So you just rest the foot onto the sofa to change your position. And just use various props to help you along. Lovely stretch for the glutes, for the hips. Well needed after those side lying circles. And let the leg gently come down. So from here, just roll gently onto your side and continue to roll until you are facing down. So we're going to bring the hands into a triangle position. So the pointy fingers, your index fingers are together, your thumbs are together, just making a little triangle. And that's just going to be somewhere comfortable for the forehead to rest into as you lie down on your front. And here we're going to be reaching the shoulders up towards the ears and down and away from the ears, just like a little shrug. Shoulders go up. The shoulders slide down. As the shoulders reach up towards the ears, feel how the shoulder blades are kind of loose, And as the shoulders slide down, feel how they really connect and fit into the back of the body again. Normal if one shoulder blade moves first and then the other follows, if it's a bit of a climb. Palms are flat into the floor. We're going to add a press down of the palms to involve the head. So slide the shoulders down and away from the ears. Push the hands into the floor and you should start to feel the head floating away from the hands. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long, so we're not going to shorten by looking forwards. Crown of the head is going to reach away. Head comes down, shoulders relax, and we go again. Shoulders draw down and away from the ears. A small press of the hands into the floor. You should feel the head start to float on it. And head comes down. Arms connect into the back. And then we're pushing down, challenging that with the weight of the head. Hold here and see how it feels to float one arm, one forearm up and off the floor. Other side. Head comes down. Shoulders connect. Press and lengthen. Still being aware of your pelvis here, especially as you bring each arm up. Notice if you're rocking from side to side. Keep your 3 o'clock, your 9 o'clock, even though we're facing now the other direction. Last time. Hold one hand, bring the other arm and see how it feels to hold both. By all means, just continue to alternate if that felt better. Bring the hands either side of the chest and push back. Fold at the hips and just find a little stretch. Coming forwards into your quadruped position now. Just going to have a little organisation of the trousers. So your shoulders are over your wrists, your knees are underneath your hip sockets, fingers are really spread wide. And again, we're standing into the floor, really pushing the arms down, connecting to the core here. So there's a slight hug of the abdominal wall up towards the spine. Reaching opposite arm to opposite leg away. I'm just going to shuffle forwards, fit my whole body into the camera. Opposite arm to opposite leg away and back in. Aim here to keep your pelvis nice and square. And again, back of the neck's nice and long, so we're not going to look up here. We're going to continue to lengthen through the spine. Stay here if this is enough. We'll see how it feels to float your opposite arm to opposite leg away from the floor. So you're bringing it up to shoulder height to hip height. And keep checking in with the shoulders, make sure you're not sinking but you're really standing nice and strong. Breath out as you reach. In as the hand comes back down. This is where the work is, so that breath out is going to again help connect to your core muscles. And fold at the hips once again. Take a little stretch, really breathe into the back of the rib cage. And gently walk the hands in. So we're just going to end this session by coming into a crouched position and taking time to fold over the legs for a bit of a stretch. Because of the angle of the camera, you'll probably see parts of me, but feet are in parallel. Send the heels down, keep the head heavy and hanging over, and lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Absolutely fine if the legs don't stretch as much as mine, just keep a little bend, and that will just reduce the intensity of this stretch. Let the head be heavy, let it hang over, let the arms hang over. And just take a few breaths in here. And then nice and gently start to come up to stand. Keep the head still heavy and hanging over. And just ending nice and tall. Thank you so much for joining me here in this beginner's Pilates class. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let me know in the comments how you got on, especially with the new exercises added in. If you're new to Pilates, I'd love to know the reasons why you're starting out and what brought you here. So do be sure to let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel as well, because I will be adding more videos and you'll start to see how these beginner exercises are going to start to progress into more challenging movements. Have a lovely day, and thank you once again for joining me.